The government is not spared criticism either, with a significant majority of parliamentarians supporting the ruling UDUB party. Speculation is rife that the lawmakers have been given the green light by the President on the electoral bill. The government's commitment to the electoral process is challenged.
Speaking on behalf of the government, we all know the position of the government on the election. The President told the Parliament that the election would take place on March the 29th. As a government, we are committed to that process. The political fate of the country will not be held captive by 64 MPs. If they fail to act, we will take legal action against them.
Despite mounting public pressure, the Gurti, in their February the 5th vote, seconded the House of Representatives on the new electoral law.
The House of Elders passed the same controversial bill by a two-thirds majority, while the President was away in South Africa. This decision came as a shock and surprise to all the people who wanted the elections and a democracy, and created a state of unease among the public.
With now less than 2 months to the election, the President out of the country, and the public dissatisfied with Parliament's decisions, someone had to step in to provide the leadership necessary to breathe life back into the electoral process.
Rather than panicking, we asked what we could do to move things on the ground. We contacted the Vice President, who called for a consultative meeting. The Vice President said that you, the NEC, and the political parties are the stakeholders. Consult with each other and come up with some solutions. We saw this as a positive development, and so we began.
It is now the second week of February, and the National Electoral Commission has been able to convince the three political parties to sit with them to solve the controversial issue of seat distribution.
The key stakeholders in any election are the contestants that the political parties put forward, with the Commission as a mediator. We felt that the National Electoral Commission was on the right track to ask the political parties to resolve this controversial issue of seat distribution, and for that reason we endorsed the NEC's initiative.
And so the Academy hosts what will become 2 weeks of sometimes heated consultative meetings.
The interests and the positions of the three political parties were different, but at the same time there were also differences within the parties. So sometimes the party itself did not have a common or pre-agreed position, and that made the issue very problematic. The atmosphere of the discussion was very tense. Many people, including party members, followed it closely because of the differences within the party itself, based on regional, district and clan interests. Everyone was trying to promote the interest of his region. Since this issue was the key to the election, we decided not to leave the discussion until we concluded it. So we came up with a distribution table indicating the seats or the share for each region of the 82 national seats. We're not saying this arrangement had no shortcomings, but it was a reasonable solution to bypass this critical juncture. The agreement was declared publicly, and the three political parties and the National Electoral Commission signed it. The mediation role played by the Electoral Commission was a crucial one. NEC was relentlessly reconciling our differences. I can say it was the NEC that made the three political parties settle their differences and reach an agreement.
inay lafdhabar u ahayd in xisaabtiis ku soo dhawaato.
This joint agreement was a major breakthrough, arguably the turning point in the election process. A question remained, however, as to why the three political parties were willing to resolve such a controversial issue when the Parliament and the government had failed.
The political parties wanted the election more than the parliamentarians. Some MPs in both houses did not want the election as they wanted to stay in their seats. But the political parties also saw that no election meant the end of the political parties.
So, the three political parties have reached an agreement on how to distribute the parliamentary seats. But this will count for nothing unless the President accepts these new arrangements. Under mounting public pressure to reinvigorate the process, the President, on his return from South Africa, starts by referring the controversial electoral bill to the Constitutional Court. On the 26th of February, the Constitutional Court rules in favor of the government, arguing that the articles put in to prevent the election taking place disenfranchised the people of Somaliland. The government, the opposition political parties, and the public at large hailed the decision of the court. After consulting with his cabinets, the Electoral Commission, and other people that included the leadership of the Academy, President Royale decides to send amendments to the electoral law to the House of Representatives. On the issue of seat distribution, the President supports the compromise reached earlier by the three political parties. The March election deadline has now passed. It's April the 2nd. The House of Representatives approves the President's changes. The key legal obstacle to the parliamentary election is removed, and the election is rescheduled for September the 15th. With the legal obstacles out of the way, the pressure is still on to agree a code of conduct for the elections. An established tradition is that before elections, the Academy for Peace and Development host regular afternoon meetings between the three political parties and the National Electoral Commission to discuss the code of conduct and to ease any political tensions that could disrupt the process. Politically, it could not have been more tense.
While we were about to begin the code of conduct discussion, the seizure of Kulmeer's headquarters happened, which heightened the political temperature, making it difficult for the three political parties to have any kind of discussion.
A new radio station critical of the government had started broadcasting on shortwave and on the Internet in March. Government forces, under orders from the Ministry of the Interior, raided the main opposition, Kulmeer's, Hargeisa headquarters in early April. They were looking for what the government considered illegal radio broadcasting equipment. In response, Kulmeer suspended all channels of communication with the government and the National Electoral Commission. Members of Parliament loyal to Kulmeer attempted to introduce impeachment proceedings against the President. Kulmeer has to be brought back on board for the Code of Conduct meetings.
We joined the discussion, though we suspended all our working relationships with the Commission, the government and the ruling party, UDUB, as a result of the illegal raid on our office. The Commission was saying that Kulmeer would only deal with the Commission and would not have any direct discussion and working relationship with UDUB and the government.